Welcome to the Beacon by Soul 33 teachings for your past, present, and future. Good morning, everyone. It is the 31st of July, 2023. We are almost at August, which is a huge month. But before I get into the recap of last week's Monday Mantra and into this week's Monday Mantra, please, if you are listening to this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are on the Beacon app, please tag, share, let people know that this app exists. And if you're on Spotify, also tag, share, follow, do all the things, because all your support really, really helps me to bridge the gap of what is missing in the market, which is a healer and medium that is in demand to enable you to heal yourself in the privacy of your home and wherever you are at, and teach you through my soul progression what you need to be aware of during your week to progress your life. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about July. July was a hugely big month for me in terms of my personal growth. I was dragged through all of the feelings I could have possibly felt, even to the points of suffering for moments, to break free of what has been holding me back as a human, also on this journey with you. And last week, the Monday mantra I had set was, "A loss is bridging the space to grow." And I was really thinking about, as things happened during the week, because there were times last week where I did not feel like bridging any gaps. I didn't feel like I wanted to connect with anything or anyone. But I knew that that's actually what the soul progression was. So instead of being destructive, I found myself trying to figure out, okay, if I'm wanting to connect deeper, what is it that I need to do or say, or how am I meant to behave? And I talked about getting back with exes last week, not because that's because what Spirit had told me to bring up. And it was all about the reconnection and disconnection. Like, am I going to reconnect, or am I completely going to disconnect? And this could have been old feelings from previous relationships, previous lifetimes, that you haven't really comprehended what's being asked of you. But the opportunity was to look at what is going right in your life and whether you want to connect or disconnect, because nothing is ever lost. Only the ego says that, I'm lost, and I'm broken up, I'm alone. But what is the actual bridge there that is being asked to be built? And it's one to grow, to evolve you, to progress you. And if you're in some sort of committed situation, and always bring it back to relationships, because people all understand that from a practical example, you're being asked to drop your protective mechanisms. And as I'm saying this now and looking at the recap myself, I can see how I had to do that last week, in terms of, this is who I really am with these feelings. This is how I feel. I'm not a robot. So this is also would have come up for you in your own ways, because when we think, we blame somebody else, that they've made us put our guard up. Actually, what that's telling us is that we've attracted that situation on some level, and we're being asked to drop the protective mechanisms, because we should be able to be as we are and express ourselves as we need to. There has been a lot of progress and expansion through last week, and that feeling of, am I here again? A type of deja vu. Now, that literally was the case for me in a very obvious way. I was at the same place, sitting on the same chair, with the same person, with the same trigger coming up for me again. And it was very interesting, because I was going, okay, this is something that's unresolved. I'm literally in the same, because I had another social event last week. And so it was a deja vu moment, but it was for progress and expansion. And it was around that whole thing of like, right, I'm dropping my protective mechanisms and building a bridge here, when I could actually completely disconnect it, but that's not what I want to do. So in the spaces where there feels like there's been loss, it's time for you to actually really look at, why do I feel that sense of loss? Like, what is it that I'm meant to learn from this experience to grow? A lot of obstacles were starting to be overcome last week, and you may have felt the obstacles really obviously, and it's also because we've got a full moon on the 1st and 2nd of August, depending on where you are in the world. And July has really been about what do I need to nurture? And nurturing, we think of nurturing mothers, for example, nurturing babies or fathers or whoever. That sense of nurturing, it may be a protective thing, but it's also not easy to nurture something because people have their own characters and their personalities and their own things that they're trying to deal with. There's been a strong theme over July of looking after what is most important in terms of your priorities, and a lot has been revealed to us, where to go, what to do next, where do I feel safe. Moving into the second half of this year, it's a natural time to reevaluate because we're past the second half now. We're really in the last bit, and make decisions that are thoroughly felt by your entire being that's right for you. So July has been a fascinating month. And when I pulled the Soul Progression digital card, which is available on the app that you can pull your own card and listen to the brief reading, in the spaces where we feel lost, we have to believe in magic, because the magic card came out. And I love that card that came up, because there is a link to grow into something more when we allow that magic to come in. And magic does exist. I see it in my everyday life when I work. It's like, this is like some sort of miraculous magic that is coming through me for this person. And, that feeling of being at a loss or not knowing how is to bring you back to the space of believing that magic will appear in your life. It always does when you believe but surrender. And you have to believe but surrender. You can't be putting pressure on things, because that's when some magical bridge is literally built in front of you going, oh my God, that's how that was going to happen. And visualizing the best that you can. A literal bridge. I like to look at a rainbow bridge from my heart and from my solar plexus to the desire, to what I'm wanting, and leave the rest up to magic when you have done all that you can. The magic card came up last week for us to remember that when you put human restrictions on things, age, time, expectations, judgment, and the opinions of other people, there is no space for magic to show up. You'll only experience loss, not the growth that awaits you, because magic is on the way, but we've got to drop those human restrictions. And when we put those human restrictions on, it's like the universe is going, oh, okay, well, she doesn't believe. That's all she's wanting problems with her age. She's wanting to manifest people's opinions. And when whether we are feeling angry or frustrated, which I felt a lot last week, we need to be resolute with what we're wanting and build that bridge, even though that bridge can be so hard to want to build sometimes because you're angry, frustrated, resisting something. You need to believe in your knowing that there is a bridge connecting you to what you're wanting. And even though life doesn't have a destination, we're all full of desires, desire to achieve, desire to be loved, desire to be rich, desire to whatever. But as soon as we start to restrict ourselves, you can be rest assured that your magic's not going to show up. The bridge you build is made through a combination of making a commitment to your desire and leaving the space for magic to intervene. A magic bridge is being built when you move past those human restrictions. So drop the human restrictions. This is also part of your protective mechanisms, dropping that. Magic can't appear if they are all in the way, and your bridge may not have completely formed yet. Okay, so July, a bridge has been forming, because as you listen to the Monday mantras, you will know that I'm always telling a story about what's going on. But August is the month of supercharged power. Now remember, I'm always here for you. There are very different ways, based on your affordability, to how to get my help. Now, the most intimate and the most powerful way to have me is to see me through a soul ceremony. And that is when you are in my energy completely. When I have a soul ceremony, which is a face-to-face client, I only see one, and all of my energy is for you. Now, they are very, very limited and exclusive. They're not for everybody, but they are very, very highly powerful. The next way is the Ascension Seekers. Now, if you don't want to be on the wait list, which the regular wait list, which goes on for a long time, remember you can save up for these different services too and put money aside to be able to slot in when we have availability. There's the regular wait list. Personalized meditations are a wonderful way to connect with me and to receive energy shifts through any issues you're having, whether you want to bring in love, money, business success, connecting with loved ones who have passed away. I love making these personalized meditations for you. Some people really have invested in that and up to number 13 or 14 or whatever it is. Soul Magics, there are going to be many energetic events this month for Soul Magics. These are acute spells to shift energy or align you with what it is that you're needing or wanting. So that is another way that you can have me help you. Mini readings, 3 PDF questions. I'm reiterating, PDF questions are not big life questions. They're things that you need some guidance on now, and you will get a direct response, which means if you're looking for emotional support, you are not going to get that through a PDF reply in a couple of sentences. But so many ways to help you, so many different levels based on your affordability. So do let Kieran know. If you need to renew your app, Kieran is the person to ask as well. We do that offline, like off the app platforms, because they take a huge percentage and I want to keep this affordable for you. So www.soul33.com or go directly to Kieran, soul33, the words, @gmail.com. Okay, going into this week, which is the first week of August, I take self-command over my growth and allow opportunities to unfold. I take self-command over my growth and allow opportunities to unfold. So if we thought July was intense, August is another supercharged month. There is so much happening, and we start the week and the month with a full moon. There have been a lot of disruptions, and for some, this could even be chaotic. Like for me, there's been chaotic feelings, and physically, many experiencing chaos in their lives, upheavals of relationships, businesses booming or breaking down, but the emotional chaos has been very, very revealing for me. Like I was thinking, gosh, these feelings I haven't felt in a while coming up to process. What has really been underlying in terms of insecurities have been opened up for review and healing because growth is happening. Emotions. Now, while they are challenging, they are there for your growth, and you need to take that opportunity because it's the choice we make to view it in a way of growth. We can see emotions as destructive, like emotions like anger and frustration. They can be destructive if we stay in that space, but I always look at it like, okay, what is my opportunity here? What is the choice that I'm making? We're either moving on or letting things be. Long-term relationships, committed relationships, institutions are being challenged. And what you thought something was may not be. So anything that happens this week where it's like, I need to look beyond that to see what that really means, or look at the choices properly that you're being presented with. That's why allow opportunities to unfold. Don't just rush into things. You're getting information to give you perspective because things are not as they seem. And it's the opposite of that too. It might be what they seem, but you still need to let things unfold. With the full moon, we're freeing ourselves of any inner conflict, even conflicts we didn't know that were there. Like I didn't know I had certain inner conflicts that were coming up for me. And things often come up earlier before the full moon because it needs to arise so it can dissipate with the full moon. A lot of generational conflicts are being addressed, things our ancestors went through, our mothers, and we're carrying the baton now to fully express ourselves in ways that we haven't been able to, or they haven't been able to. Boundaries are being set, kind assertiveness. You are asserting your power and position, ideally not from a place of egotistical power, but one from authenticity and worthiness. So are you able to fully express yourself in your life and be fully yourself? It's time to prioritize who we really are and take self-command. Taking self-command is taking ownership over how we feel. Self-forgiveness might be needed too for not having done something for yourself earlier, but the timing is perfect now. Close chapters that don't enable you to grow and be free. This week is really about cultivating self-love, and self-love is shown to yourself in different ways. We are reminded that to be able to receive love we want, we need to be able to show this to ourselves first. With this full moon, because we're starting the month bang on with the full moon, potent energy for us to let go and be more in tune with how we feel around these moon phases, because we want to become aware of what is leading us for the betterment of our lives. This full moon, you want to look at your emotions in connection with the choices you are making and ensure you are choosing the freedom to grow. It is normal to be feeling moody around this time and heightened emotions, but know that pressure has been building for a while, and where you haven't been able to release, it's happening now. So there's so much more happening this month. I'll break it down the best that I can to keep it concise over your Monday Mantra Soul Progression lessons. Remember, I'm here for you. Soul Ceremonies, Ascension Seekers, regular waitlist. Emergency sessions are waitlisted at the moment. As I can, I will open up sessions and Kieran will let you know. Gaia can slot you in here. Personalized meditations, wonderful investments, soul magics, mini readings. Kieran is the person to ask, soul33@gmail.com. Powerful month. You have got the courage and the strength to do this, to take self-command over your growth, not waiting for somebody else, looking at the choices and opportunities coming up, letting things unfold, knowing that everything is for the betterment of your life. When we look at it that way, it is when the magic comes in. There is no restrictions that you are putting on yourself to prevent the magic from coming in. Self-love, how are you going to give that to yourself this week? Like for me, I have my different self-care rituals. My meditation is a big practice. When you're feeling emotional, it's very, very hard, or angry, it's very hard to meditate, but that's the time when you really need to try. Exercising, that's going to give you the endorphins that you need to feel better. Taking care of your skin, your health, your body. I fasted all of yesterday. And while that can be challenging in its own way, it's a mental challenge more than a physical one. So all of those things I do for my self-love, I wanted to end the month positively and start August in a way of releasing what doesn't serve me anymore, so that I can take self-command over my growth and allow opportunities to unfold. It's the first week of a new month. You will have a new upload for a meditation this week. Your homework is up. Remember, you can save to your favorites. You can create a playlist and train yourself to meditate longer. Pull a card every day. Use the moon phase, the lunar calendar. There's all sorts of things that you can use to leverage the app for your spiritual growth and supporting your mental health. I am here for you, sending you power, sending you growth, sending you magic and opportunity.